prior to after, obviously. But now that I understand how difficult he is to deal with, there's no one else like him. You can't prepare for him, even at
his age,
even at an elder version of him.
Shit, it was pretty cool to see. And honestly, even with the majority draw, it's a win for Manny, because damn, if he can do that off a 3-year layoff at 46, that's pretty telling, for one, where the sport of boxing is when your world champ can't beat 46-year-old politician Manny Pacquiao.
Manny, you can't come out of retirement because this guy is so bad. Like, that fired him up a little bit, and then he goes in the ring and he does nothing. He goes in the ring and, like, I thought it was an embarrassing performance from a 30-year-old champion.
Fighters are genuinely terrified of Manny Pacquiao's comeback. Even at 46, he moves like he's still in his prime. Sean Porter, who witnessed Pacquiao's training and performance against Mario Barrios, confidently stated, "Pacquiao is still him." Despite his age, Manny's speed, footwork, and intensity remain razor-sharp. Opponents fear that the legendary version of Pacquiao hasn't faded, that he's still capable of dominating top-tier fighters today.
What do you think about the overall matchup?
Everything, man. I watched him train like last week or the week before, and amazing to see him still move and bounce and do all the same things that he was doing in camp years ago when I was with him. So he's still locked in. He's still him, Crazy, but he is. You know what they say, man. The last thing to go is that power.
Chris Algieri, who once faced Pacquiao when both were in their prime, offers a respected and rare perspective. According to Algieri, there's something timeless about Manny. While most fighters decline with age, Pacquiao remains a puzzle. Even younger, fresher opponents struggle to solve him. Algieri describes him as one of the hardest fighters to prepare for, unpredictable, fast, explosive, and relentless. He emphasizes that age is irrelevant when it comes to Manny's capabilities. Pacquiao possesses a physical and mental edge that no training camp can replicate or anticipate. For Algieri, Pacquiao's comeback isn't just possible, it's dangerous for anyone standing across the ring.
Prior to after, obviously. But now that I understand how difficult he is to deal with, there's no one else like him. You can't prepare for him, even at
his age,
even at an elder version of him.
In his fight against Mario Barrios, Pacquiao shocked audiences with how much of his signature style remained intact. At 46, many expected a faded legend trying to recreate old magic. Instead, fans witnessed blistering footwork, rapid combinations, and slick angles, everything that once made Pacquiao a feared champion. What stood out most was the competitiveness of each round. Even the ones he didn't win on the scorecards were closely contested. His timing, ring generalship, and stamina all held up impressively. Though Barrios was expected to dominate due to youth, he often found himself reacting rather than controlling. Pacquiao wasn't just participating, he was truly competing at a high level.
I think Manny's always been good at that. And my son really pointed it out perfectly. He was still good at it. He was still good at it. I think he was stealing some rounds at the end. Whether he deserved them or he didn't deserve them, whatever. They were close rounds. He might have stole them on the judges' cards. What we shouldn't forget is he's a special guy. And he put a special performance. I never saw calves on the legs of somebody that big. I mean, it's incredible. I thought early on he stumbled a little bit. I thought his legs were stumbling a little bit, like you might see in a 46-year-old, a little bit. But at the end, they got the act together. He used them pretty good. He used them pretty damn good. What I think he also did was maybe a little bit of I think the word illusion is too powerful, but I'd say a little misleading, where he threw those real fast punches like my son said. They weren't quality punches like they used to be, where there was real impact and real power at the end of them. They were more like just quick punches, and they weren't all being impactful. They weren't all landing clean. Some did, but they weren't all landing clean, and they definitely weren't landing with real power. They really weren't.
Social media personality and fighter Salt Poppy joined the conversation with a bold take on a potential rematch between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. According to him, Manny's current form proves he's still active, well-conditioned, and mentally sharp. Unlike Mayweather, who spent years away from real competition, Salt Papi believes that if the two legends were to meet again, the outcome would be dramatically different from their 2015 bout. This time, Manny's rhythm, activity, and hunger could overpower Mayweather's aging reflexes. While Mayweather has maintained his record with exhibitions, Salt Papi argues that Pacquiao's true return to form makes him the more dangerous of the two today.
Have you spoken to Manny recently? I know you're friends with him.
No, I haven't spoken to him, no.
What would you want to see him do next?
Fight Floyd Mayweather or Gervonta Tank.
You think he beats Tank, near prime Tank Davis?
We'll see. Styles make fights, so we just don't know.
What about Mayweather versus Pacquiao too?
Yeah, that'll be a good fight. Yeah, Manny is still active. So.
Okay.
Pacquiao's performance against Barrios served as a reminder of why he's considered a generational talent. Every time Barrios tried to engage, Manny responded with 2 or 3 lightning-fast punches. His output, energy, and footwork stood in stark contrast to Barrios's cautious, often reactive style. What impressed fans and critics alike was how youthful Pacquiao's movements appeared, his legs constantly in motion, cutting angles and creating opportunities. Many questioned the official decision, noting that Manny's aggression and volume far outweighed Barrios's sparse counters. It wasn't just that Pacquiao looked good for his age. He looked like he still belonged at the top.
That's not what happened. Barrios was so tentative in this fight. He was essentially standing there for some of the exchanges. Manny Pacquiao came out and did what Manny Pacquiao does. By the way, credit to Manny. At 46, he still had some feet. He was moving, dancing on Mario Barrios. He was throwing combination punches going forward on Mario Barrios. And when he wasn't doing that, he was countering Mario Barrios, who looked like a stick in the mud. He looked like he couldn't even get out of first gear because Manny was hitting with combinations. Were they hurting super bad? Maybe not. Some of them definitely were. Had a mouse under the eye of Mario Barrios, but others were just flurries, and they were keeping Barrios at bay. And when Barrios was throwing 1, Pacquiao was throwing 3. When Barrios would throw out his jab, Manny would counter with his lead right hand, stepping on the inside plane, doing all the old Manny shit. It was pretty cool to see. And honestly, even with the majority draw, it's a win for Manny because, damn, if he can do that off a 3-year layoff at 46, that's pretty telling, for one, where the sport of boxing is when your world champ can't beat 46-year-old politician Manny Pacquiao, but 2, just how great he was. 8-division world champion, started his career at 106, I think, comes up to 147. What are we talking about?
Skeptics have questioned Manny's motives for returning, suggesting financial incentives may be the main driver. With his legendary status and achievements, he has nothing left to prove. As a Hall of Fame world champion in 8 divisions and a global icon, Pacquiao could comfortably remain retired. The fact that he chooses to return raises eyebrows. Critics argue the risks at his age outweigh the rewards, especially given the increasing physical toll of the sport. They believe no amount of pride or legacy building justifies another fight, unless there's a significant payday involved.
Manny Pacquiao crazy for coming back and fighting is because they don't understand what's going on in Manny Pacquiao's life. When a fighter is 46 years old, he doesn't just come back to fight a top fighter because he just wants to fight a top fighter. When he's going through that, that's what's brought him to that place in the first place. And that is having what we call bandwidth extension. He's totally scattered his brain and lost so much money over the course of time. And the same thing that happens when you get a paycheck and you start spending, and because you get shiny object syndrome, you want to get the new watch, you want to get the new gear, you want to eat at the restaurant, you want to go spend money. That shiny object syndrome, and you can't get it under control the same way that Manny Pacquiao did. He couldn't get things under control. So therein lies the situation where all of that money that he's made, hundreds of millions of dollars, just burnt. And now you got to fight. But if you really stop focusing on the symptom and start concentrating on the root of this thing, and the root of this thing is bandwidth, shiny object syndrome, trying to be so relevant in so many different scenarios. You want to train, you want to run this other business, you want to do this, you got this great idea. And it all boils down to the term that I use all the time, and that's compensatory control, laser focus. Get one idea, follow through with that idea. You got to have a plan in order to do it. And that's how you get to from here to here, that's when you're 46. You don't have to fight anymore. And that is my message today. Just understand why you're scattered. Understand why you can't get anything going all the way through. You can never finish that thought process and execute the plan. And therefore, you continue to find yourself in a situation where you're desperate. You're trying to find a way to get back to where you were, which is even. But if you stay locked in and concentrate on the compensatory control factor of your life, which is doing everything that you think of every single day the exact same way, and I take 1 minute and go to that playlist.
However, Pacquiao has consistently denied that money is his motivation. Over the years, he has earned a reputation not just as a fighter, but as a generous humanitarian. From funding hospitals to supporting disaster relief in the Philippines, Manny has always given back. He frequently reminds the media that he fights for his people, not his pockets. His return, he insists, is about passion, legacy, and inspiration. He wants to show the world that age is just a number when the heart remains strong. For Manny, it's about proving that greatness doesn't expire. Now, with the Barrios fight behind him, speculation about his next opponent is dominating boxing headlines.